Good morning. Rise and shine, my friends. Today is Tuesday, June 18th, and this is Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Katherine Hobbs. Thank you so much for starting your morning with me. It's looking like today might be the last day of sun as we gear up for a bit more rain over the next few days. Today, though, will be sunny with highs reaching 92 degrees. There's a little bird who's been perched on my balcony all morning as I've worked to prepare this podcast, and he's been bobbing his head up and down, sometimes taking a quick flight to the nearest tree, but keeps coming on back to his favorite piece of railing each time. For the past hour or so, he's made a game of singing each time I get ready to record and always quieting down right as I side-eye him. While my scientist brain knows better than to anthropomorphize this type of behavior, I'd be remiss not to mention him as a chaotic little associate producer this morning. So, let's get you the news you need to start your day, brought to you by yours truly and my little bird friend. If you've been putting off a trip to the DMV, it's time to get yourself down there. Dallas city officials want to ticket and tow any unregistered vehicles that are parked on city streets. The city's Transportation and Infrastructure Committee voted unanimously yesterday to advance a proposed ordinance to the full city council. Right now, it is still legal for a vehicle with expired registration to park in public streets, but District 14 council member KERA Mendelsohn says it's an environmental issue, citing, quote, an enterprise of seeping fluids. If the ordinance is approved, violators could be fined up to $500. People affected by recent severe storms, high winds, and power outages can now get hands-on help applying for financial assistance. Local governments across North Texas have partnered with FEMA to open 2 disaster assistance centers. They're located at Williams Elementary School in Garland and the network of community ministries in Richardson. Those centers are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and the deadline to apply for assistance is July 16th. Scientists have some new concerns about artificial sweeteners. Xylitol is a sugar alcohol found in small amounts in fruits and vegetables and is used in sugar-free gum, toothpaste, and baked goods. But a new study links high consumption of xylitol to an increased risk for stroke, heart attack, or even death. KERA's Sam Baker discusses that link with Dr. Ashesh Parikh, a cardiologist at Texas Health Plano.
What they found in this study was that xylitol activates platelets. Think of them like as our glue. Say you fall off the bike and you bruise your knee, you bleed initially, but when you hold pressure, eventually the bleeding stops. And whenever there is a source of a cut or a bruise, the platelets activate and then they clump up that area to close up the wound. What they found was that higher levels of xylitol activated these platelets so they start clumping. So when you get these big clumps of platelets, they kind of just clog up our arteries. And so that is what leads to a stroke and a heart attack, because you essentially go from an artery that's open, blood's flowing through nicely, but now the platelets are activated and they start clumping inside the artery, essentially going from a 0% blockage to 100% blockage, which leads to lack of blood flow to the vital organs like our brain and heart.
Would it simply be enough to just eat or consume less xylitol to avoid that, or should some people just stay away from it altogether?
The study doesn't show causation. It showed an association. It doesn't cause the heart attack or the strokes to occur. They did this in about 3,000 people. About 1,000 of the individuals already had underlying high-risk heart disease risk factors. So I think for the average person, this is really not a concern as of yet, but it is more of a concern for people that are higher risk for heart disease to begin with, like diabetics, smokers, if you're on dialysis. For them, trying to just eat and consume natural sugars like honey, for example, or fruit sugars are probably the better way to go, or unfortunately just to avoid, sugars altogether.
I was going to ask if you had patients like that, and if so, what do you tell them?
It's a sour topic of discussion because the golden rule is, if it tastes good, it's not good for you, right? So, and the patients don't like to hear that, but, when they've had a stroke already, or if they've got heart disease, or if their, hemoglobin A1C, which is a parameter for diabetes, is really high, Besides obviously insulin and medication, it really is a very sort of a bland, zero carbohydrate type of diets that they have to consume to remain healthy.
So they should stay away from what, xylitol and other artificial sweeteners?
So artificial sweeteners like stevia, saccharin, and Splenda, in low quantities, it is safe. If you're a person who consumes a lot of artificial sweeteners, that's where you're going to do trouble.
You know, the debate over artificial sweeteners has been going on for some
Yes.
time, and
Yes.
still
Yes.
their use continues, and so does
Yes.
consumption. So
So does
what
consumption.
needs to happen here? An outright ban or maybe ongoing raising of awareness? What?
I don't think we'll ever get an outright ban necessarily, but I think when studies like these come out, re-highlights the importance of healthier diet choices. And there was actually another sugar alcohol called erythritol, which was published just last year in February of 2023. And that one actually is, again, another naturally occurring sugar. You know, most of us wouldn't even have known about it, but that one is actually seen much more in the US, and especially a lot of our new diets that are like keto diets. Those sugars are higher in those diets, artificial sugars. So it really is more raising awareness and just, I guess, as physicians and dietitians that are out there discussing what sort of sugars and carbohydrates are healthy so that it's safe for our patients and minimizing any future risks.
That was KERA's Sam Baker speaking with Dr. Ashesh Parikh with Texas Health Plano. All right, y'all, the NBA Finals have come to a close, and the Boston Celtics took the crown. They won last night's game 106-88 against the Mavs. If you're starting to feel those post-final blues and are looking for more sports action to follow, FC Dallas plays Minnesota United tomorrow night, and they'll have a special game honoring Juneteenth. Kickoff is at 7:30. There's no way this is news to y'all at this point, but the UV index is absolutely soaring here in North Texas as we get into the thick of summer. But some TikTok influencers are spreading some serious misinformation that sunscreen is more damaging than sun damage itself. A new survey from Orlando Health Cancer Institute shows that 1 in 7 American adults under 35 are wary of sunscreen's efficacy and importance. Dermatologists are urging Gen Z to seek out reliable healthcare sources when deciding how to manage their risk for skin cancer, especially because melanoma is one of the most common cancers in young adults. Tomorrow is Juneteenth, and the Dallas Holocaust and Human Rights Museum will host special presentations for both kids and adults, along with offering free admission to the museum. Advanced registration is recommended at dhhrm.org. And as always, you can check out kera.org/calendar for even more ways to celebrate. Thank you so much for starting your day with me today. I'm so glad you take a few minutes to listen each morning. Be sure to subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA newsletter, also by yours truly, at keranews.org, and give us a follow on Instagram and Threads at KERATX. And just a reminder, Wake Up with KERA News will be off the air tomorrow as we celebrate Juneteenth. For the rest of the week, I'll be off as well, enjoying a little vacation, and I'll be leaving the podcast in my colleagues' very capable hands. I'm Katherine Hobbs. I'll talk to y'all again on Monday.